Hi, my name is Tomasz and you're watching Casual DIY channel. In today's video, out of all this wood, we're going to be making some raised beds. Check out the video. All the boards I've got for this project are rough sawn, really dirt cheap, third class, but they will be absolutely perfect. Now, if you can, and you've got the funds to invest in something better like cedar or Siberian larch, these would be the best. However, any wood will be fine as long as it's protected correctly, or if you can get the boards a little bit thicker. In my case, unfortunately, they're only 2.5 centimeters thick. If you can get anything above 5 centimeters, that would be absolutely fine. And then I probably would not use any sealers for the wood at all. However, in my case, as I said, the boards are too thin to leave them as they are. So I'm going to use some products to actually protect them from the outside elements. And on top of it, the inside will not be meeting the soil at all. But we'll get to that in a minute. As you've seen, I'm just using my miter saw to cut them to the correct lengths. In total, I'm going to have 8 raised beds. 4 of them will be 3 meters long by 1.2 meter wide. And the other one, the smaller ones, will be 1.8 meter long by 1.2 meter wide. Now, this project is very simple. You're just going to be using some basic tools. To be fair, if you're just making a couple of raised beds, you don't really even need any power tools. You can just do it with a handsaw. Now I will be cutting some of the boards in half, and that will allow me to achieve the raised beds to be about 22 to 24 centimeters high. I think that's plenty for this project, and that will just save me a lot of material. All the boards I've got are 16 centimeters wide, so I think 32 centimeters would be way too much. However, 24 should be just right. After cutting all the boards to the correct sizes, I'm just giving them a quick sand to get rid of any dirt or any fibers that are sticking out, and just making them nice and clean. Now on my miters, I'm just cutting some smaller pieces. These will be the supports of the sides and fronts of the panels of my raised beds. And 4 of them will actually have this sharp angle at the end. These will act as anchors for the raised bed so they don't move and just stay in the place I want them to be. Now it's time to put together the fronts and the backs of all the planters. So these are the shorter pieces, 1.2 meters, and as you can see on these I will actually have those pieces that are sharp on one edge and a little bit longer than the whole panel itself, so they will act as anchors. I'm gonna put them, hammer them into the ground, making sure they're nice and stable. And a simple process, some pre-drilling and screws to attach everything and hold together. And that's how it looks like. So it's sticking out probably about 3 or 4 centimeters, beyond the level of the raised bed, and I think that will be just enough. Just to make sure I will have no bows or any strange behavior of the panels, I'm just adding some supports in the middle of all the fronts, backs and sides as well. On the sides, I'm just installing a few more supports in more or less the middle of the boards, middle of the panel. However, I'm not putting any of those supports on the edges of those boards, so at the end at the front, that will remain clear. Now I'm just securing all the boards with a special sealer. As you can see, it's in black. Allegedly, it's good for them to be black. We'll see if that will make any difference at all. But yeah, all the boards, 2 coats. Now I just want to prepare the patch of land that all 8 raised beds will go onto. Now I'm adding these geotextile or whatever the name it is of this material. Allegedly it should stop any weeds growing through it. However, it will still allow the water, the rainfall to go through to the soil, and basically it's not going to kill everything, all the microbes or anything else living in the soil. It will just prevent the weeds going out. So yeah, it's in a roll, 50 meters, off I go. I'm just securing them with some metal pins, making sure they don't fly away. And that's how it looks like when it's all finished. Alright, let's put the raised beds together. Obviously this one is the smaller one, 1.8 meter long and 1.2 meters wide. The process is very simple. I'm just going to use some screws, pre-drill some holes, drive in the screws, and more or less that's the box sorted. However, there are a few more steps we need to take to finish this project. Okay, so in this step, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I'm just using this dimpled foil or whatever name it has. So basically this will secure the wooden frame from the soil itself that will be inside of the planter box, and also it will help to distribute the rainfall, or if you're going to be watering your plants, anything like that, it will help to get that water away from the wood and into the soil itself. At least that's what I've been told anyway. Now, to make sure that the planter box will not bow out or anything like that, I'm just installing a 2x4 which is not covered by the sealer. It's just bare wood. I know it's not going to stand long, however I don't want to have anything in contact with the soil inside of the planter box. And that's it. So to be fair, it actually took a long time to make all 8 of them, and the 3 meter long ones, well, that was a bit of a challenge to put them together in my workshop, but finally they are here in the place they need to be. So let's get them ready for planting. Okay, that geotextile, we need to cut that away from the middle of the planter. And when we do that, we're going to put some cardboard inside to make sure that there won't be any weeds coming through the soil into our planter box. Okay, as you put the cardboard through on the bottom of your planter box, we just need to add some water, so basically it sticks to the soil and creates this membrane that will prevent any weeds growing in your raised bed. As I more or less established the position of the raised beds, I'm just hammering it down to make sure it's nice and stable. Also make sure the raised bed is level as much as possible, so there won't be any issues with water going into one or the other corner. And as I mentioned before, I'm just pouring some water on the cardboard, and that will help the cardboard to stick to the soil. After that, I'm just putting some dry sticks and things like that, some small branches. Allegedly, again, that helps in making sure that there's some food later on for plants, but also it creates some air gaps in the soil, so it's just not so hard and solid. I managed to get some compost from my dad's allotment, and I'm just adding 2 bags of it to this planter box as a base. After a couple of bags of soil, I've decided to add some granulated manure. I'm not sure if pronouncing that correctly, but hopefully it will enrich the soil and provide some food for plants. And now on top of that, I'm just adding a few more bags of soil. Really nice and dark soil here, guys. Managed to pick it up in my local DIY store for not too much money, which is always good. So yes, still got 7 to fill up. I'm not sure if I'm actually going to be able to fill them up with the soil I already got. But yeah, that's how it looks like at the moment. That's the one I've filled up so far. And I have to say, I can't wait to start planting my veggies. And finally, my raised beds are now finished. Well, sort of anyway. I still need to fill out the remaining 7 of them. I actually don't think I'm going to have enough soil for those. So probably I'm just going to fill 4 this year, and the other 4 I'll probably sort out next year. But we'll see how it goes. Now, if you're interested in how the plant's going to grow in these, follow me on Instagram, follow my Facebook page as well, as I will be posting some photos of how it's going in the garden just over there. The links are down below in the description of this video. However, guys, for me, that's all. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, drop me that like button down below, and remember to subscribe to my channel for some more cool content. But that's it. Have a great week. Take care. Obviously, I couldn't bear having any of them empty, so I filled them up, all of them, in total about 100 bags of 50 litre each. And as you can see, I've got some strawberries planted already. Plenty of work ahead of me.